They gotta get the youngest bearded guy.
The following resolution. Resolved that it is inexpedient to legislate. Representative Johnny Tho for the majority of the committee. The minority of the committee being unable to agree with the majority, report with the following amendment and the recommendation that the bill ought to pass with amendment. Representative Jeffrey P. Fontes for the minority of the committee. The question before the House is on the adoption of the majority committee report of inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 1623. The chair recognizes the member from Wyndham, Representative Bedrick.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I rise today in opposition to criminal justice committee's recommendation of expedient to legislate on 1623, issue 1623. My friend from Amherst graciously let me borrow his Don Quixote hat. First, I want to make it very clear, I am not advocating the use of marijuana. I'm not condoning the use of marijuana. And I don't think that anybody that are speaking against the committee report today either are condoning the use of marijuana. And the second thing I want to make clear is this. If we overturn the committee report of ITL and pass this bill, marijuana will still be illegal against the law. The question today is not whether marijuana should be legal. The question is whether a teenager making a stupid decision should face up to a year in prison and a loss of all federal funding for college. Our Constitution has an answer for that in Part 1, Article 18, which essentially says that the punishment must fit the crime. HB 1620 seeks penalties currently in statute with a more appropriate punishment. Instead of a Class A misdemeanor for possession of small amounts of marijuana, it would be reclassified as a violation with a $200 fine similar to the statutes of the 12 other states. This change would in no way affect the penalties for the sale of marijuana. The state has a legitimate interest in reducing the use of marijuana, as it has a legitimate interest in reducing the use of cigarettes, of alcohol, and of hard drugs. However, the current law has not done anything to reduce the use of marijuana among teenagers. A recent study found that in 1990, 84.4% of high school seniors said that it was easy to get marijuana. And in 2002, that number had increased to 87.2% of high school seniors who say it's easy to get marijuana. In the same period, daily use by high school seniors almost tripled from 2.2% to 6%. Meanwhile, the National Institute on Drug Abuse has shown a recent decline in tobacco use among high school seniors because of education and changing social mores, not because we're threatening them with prison sentences. Threatening teenagers with prison has not worked. What societal interest does it serve to lock someone up for using marijuana? What societal interest is served by giving them a criminal record for life? And what societal interest is served by denying them Pell Grants, funding for them to go to college? The American Enterprise Institute, a conservative think tank, concluded in their study on this issue, the case for imposing criminal sanctions for the possession of small amounts of marijuana is weak. And I understand that many of my colleagues on this side of the aisle are very hesitant about supporting such legislation, but I assure you that you're in good company. Milton Friedman, Richard Brookhiser, the editors of the National Review, and of course, the National Review's founder, the late, great William F. Buckley Jr., who is the godfather of the conservative movement, who explained that he favored decriminalization of marijuana not because he favored allowing anyone to do anything they wanted to do, but because he realized, quote, the war against marijuana is not worth it, that more people are suffering on account of the war than would suffer without it. Our current policy is an expensive failure. If our true interest is reducing marijuana use, especially among teenagers, we should abandon our current failed policy and reallocate our precious resources in a more effective manner that emphasizes education over just say no to this committee report. Thank you.